Officer Mason Reed was on routine patrol when a young orphaned girl approached him on a dimly lit street corner. With tear-filled eyes, she whispered 3 words that sent shivers down his spine, words that unveiled a truth destined to unravel a web of mystery and danger. In that moment, Officer Mason Reed knew he had to act swiftly. Before we dive into the story, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new tale. Please also let us know where you're listening from. This situation was unlike anything Officer Mason Reed had ever encountered. With just 3 years on the force and having been on a routine patrol that very morning, he found himself in uncharted territory. His college officer, Cruz, was already waiting in the car, having witnessed everything unfold. She quickly moved over to join Mason Reed and the little girl, assuring them that she would scout the area to determine where the girl might have come from. Perhaps her parents were still in the vicinity, and she had merely become lost. Throughout this ordeal, Officer Mason Reed remained by the girl's side. Clearly, she trusted him, and he was determined not to break that trust. He escorted her to the police car, settling down with her in the back seat. Officer Mason Reed had taken a photo of the young girl and circulated it among all the officers. They began canvassing neighborhoods, knocking on doors and asking anyone who opened up if they recognized her or had seen her before. Eventually, their efforts bore some fruit. An older woman who answered the door recognized the girl. Yet, her quick remark was unsettling. "Tunt girl is an orphan, no mother, no father." When Officer Cruz pressed her for further details, the woman seemed to realize the weight of her words and abruptly claimed ignorance. The more Cruz tried to extract information, the more agitated the woman became until she slammed the door in her face. Officer Cruz realized that to extract more information from this woman, she would either have to detain her or secure a search warrant to comb through the house. For the time being, their search had stalled. Although they had learned a few things, the origin of the girl remained a mystery. If she truly were an orphan, where had she been all this time? If she were living on the streets, she would likely have been noticed much sooner. Who had cared for her then? Reporting her findings back to Mason Reed, who was still waiting with the girl in the back of the police car, Cruz explained that they needed to take her to the station for further questioning. During the ride, the 2 officers discussed their next steps. They agreed that a citywide alert was necessary, one that would broadcast the girl's picture and urge her caretaker to come forward immediately. But what if this didn't yield any leads? Would they have to surrender her to the foster care system? Upon returning to the station, Officer Mason Reed and Cruz swiftly initiated a citywide alert, releasing the image across various platforms. As the picture circulated, the station was inundated with calls, each one a potential lead to solving the mystery of the girl's origins, though many only deepened the confusion. An anonymous tip eventually redirected them to a wealthy neighborhood, with its pristine lawns and sprawling estates, a stark contrast to the shadowy street where the girl had been found. In this polished environment, the residents were courteous, yet there was a palpable air of skepticism in their responses. How could a girl so unknown exist in a community where neighbors were so interconnected? Back at the station, Mason Reed and Cruz scrutinized maps and records, searching for any possible link between the girl and this upscale area. The absence of any connection only intensified the mystery. Driving through the wealthy neighborhood once again, a sudden sharp intake of breath from the girl caught Officer Mason Reed's attention. As they passed a particularly grand mansion, her eyes widened, and her small hands balled into fists. This reaction piqued both officers' interest. Was there a hidden link between the girl and that opulent residence? Seizing the opportunity, they approached the mansion and were greeted by its owner, a well-known figure in the community. He welcomed them with a polished display of concern, but when presented with the girl's photo, he swiftly denied any familiarity with her. During their conversation, as they continued their questioning, Mason Reed and Cruz couldn't shake a growing suspicion. Using the guise of a routine inquiry, they asked for a tour of the mansion. As they strolled through its luxurious halls, they kept a watchful eye on the girl, who remained silent but visibly tense. Every glance she cast around the mansion hinted at a story untold. Leaving the mansion with more questions than answers, Mason Reed and Cruz felt a deepening uncertainty. The owner's slick denial, coupled with the girl's silent yet telling reactions, presented a puzzle that simply would not fit together neatly. Back at their desks, the officers began to unravel the layers of the mansion owner's life by examining financial records and past interactions. They discovered transactions that aroused suspicion, large sums of money moving in strange patterns and links to shadowy figures in the city's elite social circles. These findings painted a portrait of a man who flirted with the boundaries of legality, adept at staying just within them. Yet, even with these clues, there was no direct evidence linking him to the girl. Deciding to take a new approach, Mason Reed and Cruz set up discreet surveillance on the mansion and its owner, hoping that a careful watch might reveal details that the financial trail had obscured. With determination mixed with apprehension, they returned to the mansion, their steps resolute. Inside, the atmosphere crackled with tension as the officers began probing the owner with pointed questions. They observed as his polished facade began to crack, his smooth assurances giving way to defensive retorts. Amid this heated exchange, the girl, who had remained a silent observer by Mason Reed's side, suddenly became overwhelmed with distress. In a moment both delicate and unexpected, the girl finally spoke, her words, one or others, soft yet laden with unspoken horror. That simple, chilling revelation hung in the air, instantly altering the course of the investigation. Shock and determination mingled as the officers detained the mansion owner, whose earlier composure had evaporated into disbelief. As they escorted him away from his lavish surroundings, it became clear that they were now delving into a deeply troubling aspect of the case. Recognizing the gravity of the girl's words, they promptly organized a thorough search of the property. Calling in additional officers, they briefed the team with an urgency that underscored the potential severity of what lay hidden. The mansion, once a symbol of affluence and respectability, was now under grim and intense scrutiny. In a secluded wing, their systematic search led them to a cleverly concealed door, expertly hidden within the mansion's ornate wall. When the door swung open, a grim scene unfolded. Each cramped space revealed another child, each looking as lost and neglected as the first girl they had found. The sight of these hidden children, each one a victim of exploitation, triggered shock and anger among the officers. It was now chillingly apparent that the girl, along with the other children, had been exploited for profit, a repugnant operation masked by a veneer of wealth and respectability. Every document and each testimony from the rescued children confirmed the horrifying reality. The mansion owner was implicated in running a sinister operation, exploiting vulnerable children for financial gain. In the wake of these revelations, he was formally arrested and faced severe charges, including child exploitation, neglect, and various related offenses. As news of the case spread, the local community reacted with a mix of shock, outrage, and deep sympathy. With the children now safe, the next pressing step was to find them nurturing new homes. Child welfare agencies, supported by the community, worked tirelessly to match each child with a loving foster or adoptive family. Thus, the journey from a seemingly routine patrol to the unveiling of a hidden sinister operation underscored the resilience and determination of those who strive to protect the innocent, even in the face of overwhelming darkness. What do you think of today's story, and how can we be more responsible as a society? Please let us know in the comments below, and thank you for listening to Storyline Narratives.